Alright, this is username here due to. I'm making a response to Bohem's recent 10 movies to watch before you die vid. Just want to give my 2 cents in. Sorry for the horrible lighting. It's like really dark outside for whatever reason, even though it's 7:30. Winter's here, yay! And only light I have in my room is this little crappy lamp. My laptop is plugged in on a very short cord, but anyway, enough about that. I wanted to make a video response with my top 10 movies before you die. Also, before I start on, Bohem, big fan, been a fan of yours for years, back when YouTube was YouTube and not corporate America. But just it's amazing to have you back, and I'm glad that you're going to be posting regularly again. So, even though it's been said a lot of times, you've been back for a little while. Welcome. Just wanted to get that out there. But anyway, I'm going to start with my top 10 films before you die, and these aren't necessarily my top 10 favorite films, though a lot of these movies are in that list as well, but I'm not going to do a video. These are just 10 movies I think that everyone should see before they die, and some of them are conditional, but let's get started. First film, A Wish for Things That Work, from 1991. Opus and Bill. It was this, from what I remember, short-lived little cartoon thing. Opus the penguin and Bill the cat were best friends. This film is a Christmas film. The general gist of the film is that Opus is a penguin who wishes he could fly, and that's his only wish for Christmas. He never gets it. Now, that may not seem like an interesting concept to you, not to me either, but the film is simply amazing. Great witty comedy, really mature humor without it being too over the top and over the heads of kids that the kids enjoy. It's supposed to be a kid film. And it has two interesting cast members that I think. Robin Williams plays this crazed Kiwi. Yes, the bird. It's about a lot of animals. And Dustin Hoffman plays a cross-dressing cockroach. Yeah, let that sink in there. Dustin Hoffman playing a cross-dressing cockroach. What anyway. But it sounds like it's such a strange film, but for some reason I love it. It's got this kind of offhand humor, and it's a wonderful film, and it's an example of a great witty comedy to me, with it being a kids' film, how it can balance out between kids and adults. Next one on the list. This is one of those generic, it's on everyone's list kind of things, I guess. The Matrix, primarily for its deep philosophical meaning, while balancing it out with great action and a storyline that actually draws you in, for me anyway. I feel this movie is great. I love Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus and Carrie-Anne Moss as Trinity. I'm not going to rag on Keanu Reeves. I thought he was decent in the role, but it's mostly because the role was supposed to not have that much emotion. So not much acting was required. Oops. Anyway, next film. This one is quite possibly my favorite film of all time. This is Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful film. Batman the Animated Series was a great kid series in the 90s. This film was a branch of it. Great cast. Kevin Conroy, Dana Delaney, Mark Hamill. Oh my goodness, I love this. Abe Vigoda. I love this film so much. It was great writing, not a lot of comedy, but great action, great storyline, drew you in. It is a complete film. A complete film. That's what makes it so beautiful. It's had a little bit of something to appeal to everyone's taste and draw you in. Another one. Ferngully the Last Rainforest. To me, this is another great film, and it had a lot of amazing talent. I didn't find out until years later how many people were in this film. Tim Curry, Christian Slater, Robin Williams, Tommy Chong, and Cheech Marin. Just so many of these amazing people. Robin Williams, this is one of his first animated films. This is one of his first animated films. The other one I mentioned, Wish for Wings That Work, I believe that was his first. It was 1991. If he had one before that, I'm not sure about it. But just amazing, amazing film to me. And the cast was stellar, and they all did great jobs. Now, this one was on your list, Ben. This is Fight Club, for pretty much the same reasons you said. It's such a well-written title. It's got like a could go into mystery or thriller. It's kind of a dark comedy, depending on how you look at it. I tend to look at it that way myself. and it's a dark reflection of a little bit in the back of people's minds what they wish they could do. People who, if they're weak, they wish they could be strong. If they're unpopular, they wish they could be cool. What if you could actually make that person you want to be and become that person? And I just kind of love the way Fight Club portrayed that scenario, and what if it went out of control. The next film is pretty conditional. This is a film you can only really appreciate for filmmaking if you've seen films of the 80s. This is The Expendables. I feel that if you were like an 80s movie buff, or if you just like 80s movies, this is the homage to that film era. I mean, I'm not even going to go through the cast, because it's so stellar, but I'm sure everyone's heard about The Expendables. In fact, you know what, just for that one guy that probably hasn't heard about it yet, let me go through this. Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Jet Li, Dolph Lundgren, Randy Couture, Steve Austin, Terry Crews, Mickey Rourke, Bruce Willis. And that's just the headliners. There's a bunch of other stars that just sprinkle out through the film. Beautiful, wonderful homage to the 80s. I myself am a big 80s buff. You know, just love that. Next film, Man on Fire. Denzel Washington. Enough said for me. Just enough said. Sin City. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to go back. Denzel Washington. This film is compelling. What Ben said in his video, how movies are supposed to convey a certain emotion. They're supposed to be an escape from the boring lifestyle of everyday life. Man on Fire took you from normal to holy hell, what is going on. And Dakota Fanning is amazing in it too. Great young actress. She's really going to go places. She's already going places, but Denzel Washington, superb in that film. Great, just movie watching experience. Keeps you on the edge of the seat from start to finish. Sin City is the next one. That's actually the next one. It is a great exploration into the dark noir style of filmmaking. It was adapted from Frank Miller's original comic, which also had that dark noir style. I feel this is one of the great. If you just want to watch something and be entertained, this is a great film. It was decently made, but it was really, really, really well done. The Producers is the next one, for those comedy people. I have not had, from what I've heard, the esteemed pleasure of seeing the Mel Brooks version. So I'm going to talk about the Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick version. Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick have such an amazing chemistry in this film. It makes it such a joy to just watch those two go to work. And the rest of the cast is great too. Uma Thurman, Will Ferrell, just a lot of really good people in this film. Some of them have bit parts, some of them have amazing parts, and they all kind of tie it together and make it what it is. I can't say whether or not it's better or not as good as the same as the Mel Brooks version. Like I said, I haven't seen it, but yeah, that's my opinion. And before I move on to the last movie, I want to say that my movie knowledge, although I really love movies, and I consider myself a movie buff, I have not yet had the opportunity to really build a repertoire I would think would impress anyone. Most of my film watching experience is from like the mid to late 90s till now. I have seen things from before then, obviously some of those were on this list, but I really haven't gotten the pleasure of sitting down and getting to enjoy a great selection of movies. And by great, I mean in size, not just in quality. But so this list may be a little jaded, it may be a little lacking. But it's just from my perspective, you know, that's all we're supposed to do. It's just for fun, for the hell of it. Making a video response, I don't make a lot of those. The last film, I think, going back to Ben's point about how movies are an escape, is how they should convey a certain emotion that you want to feel that you wouldn't get to feel normally. I think everyone should see at least one really horribly bad movie, just to appreciate the great one, so that they understand what kind of emotions they feel when they're watching a great film can easily be turned and twisted by a bad one. I think people should understand that just because they see a lot of good films, if they never see a bad one, they never really understand the impact those films have on them. So my last pick, that a person should see before they die, Dragon Ball Evolution. It is the bane of my film watching existence. 30 seconds into that film, I felt a part of my soul died. Of course, I'm probably biased because I'm a huge fan of the original Dragon Ball, and I didn't appreciate the way they twisted the... I'm not going to go into it. Just Dragon Ball Evolution. Really horrible film in my opinion. Really not well made film.